In honor of today's topic of discussion, I think that we need to start this video in the same way that they started Incredibles 2 in the theaters. Hello everyone. So I know that you all have been waiting so long for this video, and I know that some of the ones in between haven't even been that good, and this is like the one you probably actually wanted, and I didn't even start working on it until like 3 days ago, but we worked really hard on this, okay? It takes a long time to make a YouTube video of this superior quality, okay? You have to have the writing, the acting, the professional animations, and the high quality editing. And the most important part of this production is the endless hours I stay awake at night staring into the void of a computer screen as my numb mind barely pieces together a coherent video with eyes switching, and I have slept 3 years and my eyes are cracking open. I lost all my friends over the video, so you better freaking enjoy it! And without further ado, we hope that you will enjoy this video. Now you may be saying, Ben, how can Incredibles 2, one of the greatest movies of the whole summer, possibly be a ripoff of another movie? The creative geniuses over at Pixar would never do that. Well, sorry to burst your bubble, kid, but they have stolen plots many times before. I mean, come on, the plot to Cars 2 was clearly a word-for-word ripoff of Catch That Kid, and Inside Out was definitely a ripoff of the Emoji Movie, and Toy Story, oh, don't even get me started on how that movie copies The Boss Baby. So yeah, this is not their first offense, but this is most certainly their greatest offense, as nearly every section of the plot of Incredibles 2 was stolen from a much superior, much better animated, and much more deep and insightful movie, The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Now, don't click off that video. I know you're thinking that I'm just being stupid and crap, but if you'll hear me out, I know it will all start to make sense. So first, let's start with the characters and their powers. The main character of Incredibles 2 is obviously Mrs. Incredible, and she has the power of being able to stretch and do all that crap, but just look at this quick scene from Rocky and Bullwinkle and tell me that Elastigirl's power isn't stolen from this movie.
Kinda makes you feel discouraged.
Then you have Mr. Incredible, and he has great strength, but let's be honest, that honestly feels a little too familiar.
Never said I could drive it well.
Who else is there in the family? Oh, that's right. We got Dash with his super speed. In fact, in the first movie, there's one part where he runs so fast that he can even run on the water, almost like he's flying across the water. Now, what could that be similar to?
This summer.
Now, there's a character exactly like Violet who is also in the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie, except she's like invisible the entire time, so only true movie masters know that she's there. As for Jack, his main power that gets shown off the most in the movie is like his green lasers, and wouldn't you know it, there's a big green laser in the beginning of Rocky and Bullwinkle that kicks off the whole story. As I'm sure you can tell, the evidence is already starting to stack up, and I'm just getting started. Do you remember that scene from Incredibles 2 with the helicopter chase and the train chase scene? Well, where do you think the inspiration for both of those came from?
Troubles of their own.
There they are!
I mean, seriously, just compare them. You can clearly tell that Incredibles 2 is ripping off this movie. But okay, I get it. You probably just aren't convinced. So here, how about I pull out the big guns? Plots. The main plot of the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie is that these cartoon characters have come to life in the real world. And what are all of the main characters in Incredibles 2? Oh, that's right, cartoons. Okay, but this is the real meat. The villain in Rocky and Bullwinkle establishes a television network called RBTV, standing for Really Bad Television. This network broadcasts terrible shows across the nation and uses the mind-numbing capabilities of these shows to hypnotize people and control them. And maybe turn them into vegetables too, but that part doesn't matter, okay? Don't worry about it. The only way to avoid the effect of these shows is to wear special glasses or have a really thick skull. Sound familiar? The villain of Incredibles 2 uses screens to try and hypnotize people as well. I would say that this case is as good as closed. Oh, but you want more evidence, huh? You don't think that the fact that the entire plot from Incredibles 2 is clearly taken word for word from Rocky and Bullwinkle is enough evidence? Okay. Then how about this? At the end of Incredibles 2, there's a short scene where the superheroes are in court and they get pardoned. A scene that is strangely similar to another court scene for a much more beautiful movie.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's Rocky and Bullwinkle! Oh my god! I love it! Oh, I love your
Your
show.
Honor!
I totally... And you, Mr. District Attorney, I'd like to point something out to you in the Penal Code, Section C, Paragraph 22. Celebrities are above the law. This case is dismissed.
Oh, but we're not done here yet. I've got some definitive proof that this plot was 100% stolen from The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Let me ask you this. Who was the director of The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle? Well, it was Des McAnuff, of course. I thought everybody knew that. But anyway, if you look at his credits and the other projects he has worked on, he was a producer on The Iron Giant, the animated movie that was directed by none other than Brad Bird, the director of Incredibles 2. With this solid connection made between the director of The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and the director of Incredibles 2, you can't tell me that all of these similarities I've pointed out were a mistake. Brad Bird was clearly very inspired by the genius of Des McAnuff, so much that he stole his entire movie plot. What is so sad is that Des isn't given any credit or thanks for the incredible ideas that he thought up. Brad Bird and Des McAnuff shared a BAFTA Children's Award for their work together on The Iron Giant, but Brad Bird hasn't been sharing any of the recognition for Incredibles 2. It is so sad to see that the beautiful work of Rocky and Bullwinkle is being pushed to the side in honor of a clearly less worthy film. Remember Manchester by the Sea and how it won an Oscar for its best original screenplay? Who was the writer and director for that film? Oh, that's right, Kenneth Lonergan, the same man who wrote the screenplay for The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. And yet, his much superior film has not received any Oscars. This is unjust and unfair, but there is a chance to change this injustice. The 2019 Oscars are coming up before too long. I believe that this is a perfect chance to set the record straight and give the people who worked tirelessly to make one of the greatest movies of all time and who made the plot to Incredibles 2 the honor and thanks they have never received.